Mr. Default, I want to thank you for all the work that you do. Listen, farming is tough business, and we certainly respect the commitment and the risk that you go through every single day, as well as we do every farmer. And I don't say that lightly. I sincerely mean that. It's a, you know, I certainly am sympathetic to the struggles that that the industries are going through. But let me tell you, from my perspective, one of the things that I saw following what happened with NAFTA, when we lost not just a single farm or parts of an area, but we lost an entire manufacturing base. And we saw this continuously happen over a period of years when we lost the textile base in my area. Textile manufacturing just simply went away, and it is it is devastating to watch a community fall apart after they lose their job base. So I am very thankful that the president is willing to take on China and to do the things that he's doing right now to get their attention. A lot of talk about tariffs. I don't think all of the niceties that people have tried in the past, I think you call this an experiment, I think it was very intentional. I think it is the one thing that gets everyone's attention, and it has certainly changed the trade environment through the use of tariffs. I certainly hope that we will continue to be successful in trade negotiations so that these tariffs at some point down the road come to an end. But I hope that we don't stop too soon until we get the various phases of these trade agreements complete. But the only way that you can get to phase two is to get through phase one. So again, certainly understand the position and the struggles that many of folks in agriculture have gone through, but also recognize that 83% of farmers right now still support and want the president to push forward. So with that, I want to move on to some questions here, because we know that for years China has stolen the U.S. intellectual property and technology, that they have done all of the things that we've talked about today around manipulation of currency, creating the unlevel playing field. And I'm glad that the structural changes of phase one require changes to these, particularly in regards to intellectual property protection, technology transfer, and for agricultural standards, financial services, and currency manipulation. The Trade Ambassador and Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny Perdue, have taken numerous actions on implementing agricultural-related commitments under the Phase 1 agreement. One of these things that is very, very important that we've seen is the lifting of the ban on U.S. poultry products, including pet food containing poultry products. And this is a huge win for my home state of Georgia. So, Mr. Gabbard, I'm an enthusiastic supporter of this Phase 1 agreement because I believe it makes substantial progress towards solving some of these unfair trade practices. Can you talk a little bit more, and I know you've made some comments on this, but kind of talk to some of the challenges that we've seen in the past related to agricultural trade, and then if this is vigorously enforced, are you optimistic about the impact on the agricultural community going forward?
Well, I'll start with your last question first. Yes, I think this is a unique opportunity, and I know, coming from a small community in southwestern Illinois of less than 200 people, we look forward to that, to maintain the infrastructure and the businesses that we do have that help us out. If it's the mom and pop hardware stores down the street, the small machinery dealers that provide the goods and service to us. One thing I despise is to drive more than 18, 20 miles to my local machinery dealer to get a part for a $400,000 or $500,000 combine or tractor, whatever it may be. We need that infrastructure and those mom and pop stores in our local communities to do that. With regard to China, and I'm very optimistic at looking at how this deal, it's the first phase in moving forward to get to where we need to be, but we have a long way to go. You know, I mentioned earlier that, you know, we in agriculture, whether you're whatever commodity organization, from fruits and nuts in California to cherries in Minnesota, dairy products on the east or west coast or wherever that may be. We need those markets, we need to continue to grow them, and we need to have an advantage. Our farmers are very innovative. We soak up technology. We are some of the most innovative sector in the U.S. economy to grow and to prosper, and we'll continue to do that year after year.